In Meridell it was a time of peace and prosperity. The land was ruled by King Skull, a wise and just ruler. But as he was nearing the end of his reign, the king was betrayed by one of his closest advisors. The king was kidnapped and hidden away. The advisor Ramter crowned himself king. Ramter was a corrupt and evil ruler, oppressing the people and taking the land's riches for himself. The people cried out for someone to save them, but for many years their cries went unheeded. But in the far reaches of the land, in a place many have forgotten, the journey began that might free the land from tyranny. The young Mameru who set out that day did not know what lays in store for him. Hello to everyone who's feeling nostalgic and search up Neopets on YouTube, or for whatever reason you're here, random passerby, hello. This is my full Neoquest II playthrough series. In this series I'm gonna play it from start to finish, but we skipping most of the fights and skipping most of the NPC's dialogues, because I want to make a more condensed version, clean and more digestible version. But if you want a full version, you can go check out Nintendo Brand's series. It's a cool series, and so shout out to him. Here's a quick tip: if you are defeated by playing Sloop, you'll get an avatar on the Neopets forum. And here I am just grinding out stuff, killing monsters, and every time I get low I just go visit my mother and she'll fully heals me and act as a free in. So that's a quick tip for you to just grind out the early game. Switch your hunting and then you just walk back and forth and then you just kill a lot of monsters and level up faster. The next stop will be on the mine on the north of the village. And in there, that's basically act as a mini dungeon. You can skip it, but I usually won't skip it because you can get an armor there. And I also want to cover all the boss fights, so I will have to do the boss. But for some speedrunners, they skip it. They just grind outside the cave and then buy the armor on the next town, the White River town. So before going to the cave, we must level up first, and also we're going to stock up some potions. So in the Trestin village, there's a mom and there's also a potion seller right next to her. So let's just heal up first. And then there's the potion guide. You can buy healing potions, you can buy damage potions. Let's just buy some healing potions, so that I don't have to go back to town to heal. I can keep on killing monsters and grinding out, and that saves a lot of time. Also buy a flare potion, just in case I need to add damage. I guess it's time to talk about Rohane's skill before we fight the boss. Damage increase is always the skill that I max out first. It improves every hit that Rohane does. Critical attacks is also good, but at the early stage of the game, if you crit on a low health enemy, it feels like damage is wasted. Also, the proc rate isn't very high when you don't have the skill point invested in it. So I just put 1 point for the surprise factor. The same goes with Stunning Strike. The proc rate is very low when you don't have the skill points, but what it does is that it can slow down the enemy, basically giving you consecutive turns and skipping the enemy's turns. And it is liked by some speedrunners because it basically enables you to do more actions and shorten the gameplay. But also at the later stage of the game, the boss is resistant against it, so I'll only invest so few skill points in it. But we're already at the cave, so if you don't know the way, you can just go to the Jelly Leo's map like I do, or you can also look at the map. There are some rocks in it, but they are called stalactites. So just follow the stalactites. And then when you find mine rails, follow the mine rails, and it will lead you to the mine and to the boss. So back to the skills, you can see that I haven't learned combat focus and battle taunts. It is because it will turn your Rohane into a full tank, which I don't like. Combat focus is sacrificing your attack power and turn them into defensive power, basically making you more tanky but deal less damage. Battle taunt is that when you have team members on your team, you taunt the enemies and the enemy will have a higher likelihood to attack you instead of your teammates. So why do I not like Rohane being a full tank? That is because Rohane is meant to be the main DPS of your team, and not a tank. While he is the tankiest member of your team, doing less damage with Rohane hurts your team a lot because he's the main damage source. It's like turning your spoon into a spork, but you never really have to use the function of a fork. So what you end up is you get a mediocre spoon and a bad fork. The food will leak from the gap of the spoon, and then you don't get a very sharp fork to poke your food. So what you end up getting is you are bad at the offensive side and you are bad at the defensive side, because battle taunt is often resisted by the bosses too. So don't do that. And then we have the innate series, like the passive skills. Melee haste is also really good, but it needs a lot of skill point to shine. So at early stage of the game, it might not have a very great impact, so I recommend maxing it second after you max damage increase. Magic resistance is useful, but only in the later stage of the game where the monsters and enemies actually start casting spells on you. In the first chapter, there's only so few, there's only two bosses, and so few enemies that will cast spells. So I recommend only taking one skill point for chapter 1 and just stay there. And maybe after you max out damage increase, innate melee haste, maybe critical attacks, then you can start considering magic resistance. So we are very close to the boss already. We are already at the mine, we are fighting minor ghosts, we are fighting minor skeletons. Also, we are at level 5, which is an appropriate level to fight the boss, not too over leveled, not too under leveled. And need not to worry about the boss because all it does is do basic attacks really. So just make sure you go into the battle with full health, and then you shall be fine. Well, since we are so close to leveling up, we might as well just grind out that level. And when we get to level 6, we can kill the boss in a breeze. So here it is, the boss is at the end of the mine rail. We are just going to heal ourselves fully after this battle, and then we will kill this boss and finish our first ever dungeon in this adventure. Okay, apparently I don't have the opening dialogue record, so we might as well just do it in the Jelly Leo way. The miner foreman says, "These halls were not meant for the living, so we will have to make sure you aren't living anymore." Okay, let's see how it goes. Do your worst, buddy, do your worst. Okay, hit him for 9. We're trying to hit me, I'm too slick, I'm too flashy. Hit him again for 5, hit him again for 11. Can't hit me, you can't touch me, you can't touch me, you just can't. 9 damage again, hit me for 6, I barely feels anything. 11, we're so close to the end. Let's kill him. There you go, defeated. The minor Foreman screams no as he fades into nothingness. Suddenly the oppressive darkness of the mine relents, and everything becomes a bit brighter. The ghosts, skeletons infesting the mine have all vanished, released from the torments of by death of the Foreman. Behind where the Foreman stood, you can see a magical teleportation orb. It looks like it will send you back to the entrance of the mines. You also get a tunic, that's pretty cool. Let's equip our loot now, the rusty chain tunic, and gave us some extra defense. But we also changed our outfit too. Now that I remember, every chapter, every region, Rohane is gonna get a new outfit. Now that's pretty cool. So after that we're going to the east, we're going to the White River town. But for now we're gonna end it here. So have a nice day. Goodbye. I'll see you in a minute.